I'm Arshad Ismail, the Chief Executive Officer of Bank Pembangunan Malaysia Berhad. In any organization, it's important to have a cohesive team. A cohesive team is a team that has a common purpose, a common objective. As the Chief Executive Officer, I cannot operate alone. I need to have the support of not just my ExCo members, but of everyone else in the organization. It's also important for me as the Chief Executive Officer to understand the expectations of my stakeholders. My stakeholders are people beyond the organization. They include my shareholder, they include my regulators, and most importantly, they include my customers. I need to understand if we are serving their needs and requirements to the best of our ability. And it is also important for me to constantly remind myself to check in with my stakeholders. For the past 20 years, the bank has been focusing on 4 mandated sectors: infrastructure, oil and gas, maritime, and technology. However, from 2019, we decided to become sector agnostic. What that means is, whilst we will continue to support the 4 sectors I mentioned earlier, we will be looking beyond those 4 sectors. For example, we will be paying a lot of attention to food security. We will be paying attention to other sectors like waste management, like biofuel, and the list goes on. What is important is for us to understand the impact of the projects we will be financing, the impact the projects will have on the population, on society, on the economy. And in this regard, we have an objective way of making the assessment. We have an objective way of assessing the impact of the projects we will be financing. How do we go about assessing these projects? We have an impact assessment framework that we have developed in-house, and we run all projects through this framework. So a project that scores high on the framework means that it is a project that will have high impact. However, a project that scores low on the framework is not necessarily a project that we will reject. It will enable us to impose conditions on the project, on the customer, to enable the project over time to achieve a higher score. And this is how we play our part as a development finance institution to ensure that the projects we finance are in the best interest of the nation, of the current generation, and more importantly, in the best interest of future generations of Malaysia. As a development finance institution, we have an important role to play in the development of the nation. It is an exciting space for young executives in particular, and I would therefore encourage those of you considering a career in banking to consider joining a development finance institution. Join Bank Pembangunan Malaysia Berhad.
OIC Today. Leaders of today, leaders of tomorrow.